Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Toby's Talk Show, and today we are back with another episode, and we will be talking about Bradley Beal and how he potentially might want out. It seems like he will take the weekend to think about it, supposedly, but it seems like he's definitely now on the fence. It's funny because we have these conversations. It feels like for the past 3 years, where it's like, oh, it's finally time where Bradley Beal requests a trade. And is it going to be this time? Is 2021, the offseason 2021 finally going to be the year? Or are we just going to have to wait another year until the whole rumor mill of Bradley Beal wanting out starts again? But, that's what makes free agency fun. That's what makes the offseason a good time. And that's why, it's some people's favorite parts of the NBA season is seeing how teams decide to reconstruct or, reamp or however you want to say it, their rosters slash teams. But let's talk about Bradley Beal. That's why we're here. And yeah, Bradley Beal, top 25, top 20, star player in this league. He was second in scoring this year. He was first for most of the year. Curry kind of caught up after just having what was it, January was his amazing month. He was amazing all year, but I think it was January was the month he really caught on fire. Bradley Beal averaged like 30 points. It dropped a little bit at the All Star break. I think it was at like 32, something crazy like that. But he ended up with maybe 30, I don't know, 30, 32, whatever. He ended up with a lot of points per game. And that's what Bradley Beal does. And, when I think of RJ Barrett, what he can become, that's what I could kind of see him become. Just, probably a little worse of a shooter slash shot creator and just getting and being better at getting to the basket. But Bradley Beal started as someone that didn't really shoot well and worked on it, worked on his shot creation, worked on just getting space, becoming a better one on one player, becoming a better, just guy with the ball in his hands, and he's become an absolute stud. And he is not a franchise changer, I would say. Not like, all right, now we could definitely win the championship, but someone where if you add him to a good team, you become championship contenders. He is that good. And it seems like he is going to go to a contender. That's why he'd want out. So as in Boston Celtics, the Warriors, Philly seems all interested. The Knicks, but I really haven't heard many Knicks news on Bradley Beal. Doesn't seem like he wants to go there. So it seems like it's those three teams. So we'll talk about them. But this is big. It could be the biggest star that makes a move in the offseason. I consider him bigger than Chris Paul. And it seems like Chris Paul may leave, may not. But Bradley Beal, if he leaves slash gets traded away, probably the biggest star to move unless Dame leaves or unless Kawhi somehow leaves, and it'd be big. It could definitely change the NBA as in how we look at who's contending, who's not. Let's say you somehow are able to add Bradley Beal to the Celtics without getting rid of Jaylen Brown. That's a good three. I don't know how it'd work. I guess you put Tatum at the four, or you play, maybe Beal at the one. I don't know. You'd have to figure it out. But the three of them together, that's Eastern Conference championship. It seems like it should be at least. Obviously, depends what they give up. Maybe Marcus Smart. Um, Maybe put Moses Brown in that. I don't know. I don't know what the Wizards would want. Obviously, first, many first. But yeah, I don't know. Do the Celtics think Bradley Beal is going to put them over the top? Because you obviously don't want to. The Bucks they took that risk right with Drew Holiday. Giving away their whole future. Obviously, it's worth it now. Looking back, they won the chip. But let's say they didn't. Let's say they lost to the Nets. And then they continue to lose. That's that'd be tough to bounce back. Um, but I think the Celtics will be willing to take that risk. He's obviously a top 20, 25 player, like I said, in the league. Obviously, rankings, some people rank him a little lower, some people rank him a little higher. But at least for me, he's a star in the league. That's all you need to know. A great number two, especially if a really good number one, a top 10 player. And yeah, I mean, we talked about the Celtics with the Sixers. I guess you're moving what? Ben Simmons, maybe like Matisse, Tyrese, a few first. I don't know. But him and Joel would be really deadly. I think all the Sixers need is someone that can, create space for themselves and hit a clutch bucket. Obviously, Tobias Harris can do that. But imagine just Bradley Beal being there, being the guy they could go to late. Obviously, giving it to Embiid late also. But just someone that could create their own shot when they need it. Because Simmons running around and giving it to Embiid with like 5, 7 seconds left, it's not fair. And just having someone that could take their own shot and banking on Embiid getting the rebound stuff like that. It makes it a lot easier for the offense. So I think it'd be great for the Sixers. I would trade Ben in a few pieces and a few first in an instant, and then the Warriors. I don't like the fit at all. I don't get that. Clay's coming back. You don't want him guarding threes. You'd rather him guarding twos. Think about it. Like would you rather him going at people like I guess you would obviously could change who's defending who, but I don't know. Putting Clay at the three is a little scary for me. I think he should be at the two and stay at the two. That's why I'm surprised that the Warriors are so interested in people like Dame and Beal because they're both guards. And I mean, you put Beal at the three, I guess, but with Dame, Clay has to go at the three unless Clay's in that trade. Is Clay in a Beal trade? Maybe, but I would feel like they would just do 7, 14 Wiseman, future first, Jordan Poole, stuff like that instead. Just because it fits also the Wizards timeline a little better if they're gonna fully rebuild. Because obviously, if Beal goes, Westbrook goes. And I guess we could talk about Westbrook in a later video, just because this video. I know people they get bored after a couple of minutes, so 6 minutes is pretty long for some people. With Russell Westbrook, it seems like the Lakers would be very interested, and obviously, if they could somehow get that contract to work, match the salaries and stuff, that'd be great for them. I just don't know if they have the pieces. Like obviously, firsts are great, but it's also always good to get young pieces that will pan out and are part of the future. Like with a Karis LeVert or Jared Allen, James. No, James wasn't even scary, but stuff like that. Young players that is going to work out. And you're not really getting that. Wendell Carter in the Magic trade, stuff like that. You always want to have a guy you could bank off of, or that could be good. Like in a Colin Sexton trade, maybe Obi Toppin with the Knicks, stuff like that. So I don't know how the Lakers would get that done for Westbrook. And I don't know how they get any of the point guards they're looking at in general done. Um, but Westbrook, I'm sure if Beal goes, Westbrook goes. It doesn't seem like Westbrook would request a trade, but it seems like if Beal would, Westbrook would go just because if the Wizards are going to rebuild, they have to do it right, and obviously keeping Westbrook there is just not fair. Letting him sit there and then you also just getting like the 10th seed with Westbrook. So Westbrook would be gone too, which would be interesting because which teams would go after him? There was the same dilemma last year. It's like no teams really wanted to trade for that big contract, and he's only getting older, right? Obviously, he had a great year this year, surprised many people, but it's still a big contract. It's still he's getting only older, so it's getting less valuable, I guess you'd say. So I don't know, but we'll talk about it in a later date. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.